Hey everyone, welcome to the Alchemy Solution. Today we're talking about the importance of vulnerability for a successful relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship or family or best friends, close friends. So many people right now are afraid of being vulnerable. People imagine the worst possible outcome when it comes to being vulnerable, when it comes to sharing feelings. And people also do not know how to manage their emotions when it comes to being vulnerable, that they end up exploding, expressing frustrations, expressing anger, and going into chaos when expressing their feelings. So, with the practice of vulnerability and not falling into the old mindset of vulnerability is weakness, vulnerability only shows you that you're weak. Without that kind of mindset, you can start small, start practicing openness, being vulnerable to your partner, to your friends, whoever it is you're speaking to. It's also helpful to be vulnerable to yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, if you're not vulnerable with yourself, how are you going to be vulnerable towards someone else? So start practicing being vulnerable. And what that means, it's simply being in touch with your emotions, expressing what you're feeling. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling hurt, whatever it is, without being frustrated, without being so attached to the hurt. Because when you're so attached to the hurt, to the pain, whatever it is, you start to blame somebody else. So keep in mind, this is not about blaming, okay? I too had to train my mind so many times. This is not about blaming. This is not about pointing fingers. It's nobody's fault. All I want to do is express how I feel. When you start from that place, you can start to express effortlessly. Now, the question comes when others are involved. People tend to worry how the others are going to react, or maybe they already have the assumption that they're not going to understand my vulnerability, they're not going to understand my feelings, there's so many sides to this, okay? If you're dealing with someone who will not understand your feelings or appreciate them without blaming, then it may not be the right person to be vulnerable to. You want to be vulnerable to people that you feel safe with, that you know will just listen. That's one side of the story. The other thing is changing the assumption about the people you are with. Are you assuming that people will not understand how you feel based on your judgments, based on your past experiences in which things didn't turn out great with them? Can you change the assumption? Can you change your perception, your views on them? And are you willing to stop worrying about the outcome with them and just focus on you being honest with your expression, whatever the outcome is? If the outcome seems like they will not respond, they will not listen, they will not accept, what does it matter? You are expressing your voice, you are expressing your honesty, you are listening to yourself, you are just being you. It doesn't matter. Now, when it comes to your partner, romantic partner, your best friend, your business partner, whoever it is that is close to you, like a one-on-one thing versus family, when it comes to that, you know that you are creating a long-term relationship. Instead of suppressing, worrying about the outcome, look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is this is a long-term relationship. How do you want this relationship to go? If you keep hiding and suppressing, not being honest, you will keep harboring negative feelings that will affect your relationship externally in time. I used to bottle up my feelings so much because I was afraid to share my voice with my loved ones, okay? And over time, when I got into a work environment, I started to confront people with my honesty. Yes, I was worried about the outcome. However, I could also feel my strength. I could hear my voice. I was not worried about the outcome. And every time I confronted someone and expressed how I feel calmly, the outcome, I could not imagine it. I could not have imagined it. Every single one came to me and said, "Thank you for your honesty. I really appreciate it." And in my perspective, it was appreciated not just because I expressed my voice, but I expressed it in a calm and loving manner, without judging them, without blaming them. That was very helpful. Another thing I wanted to share is when I got into a relationship with my current partner, I was afraid to be more honest with my feelings because I didn't like conflict, I didn't like drama. I just wanted to move on smoothly without expressing any upset, any disappointment if I felt any. Slowly, I started to express my feelings and to make sure that he doesn't feel blamed, to express that, hey, I'm not blaming. This has got nothing to do with you. It's about how I'm feeling. All the emphasis was on me and me expressing myself. Over time, we got closer. We connected deeply. We started to understand each other more as we kept allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, to express without judgment, without blame. My whole life, I have admired vulnerability. I don't know where it's coming from. Well, I know where it's coming from now that I think of it. I grew up in an environment where people were not honest with their feelings. People would be too polite, too nice, and hide the true feelings, especially if it's negative emotions. From that view, I emphasized on the importance of deep connection, deep and honest connection, effective communication. And this only led to me attracting the relationships that I want, that I admire, that I treasure. And now my relationship with my family is so much better with them. I've got the friends that I can deeply connect with without anyone trying to fix anything, but simply listening and hearing, sharing with love, learning from each other out of curiosity, and having a relationship with my partner in that way too, without me wanting to fix, wanting to change things for him. As I did with my past relationships, I wanted to help, I wanted to fix, and that was just too much energy taken from me. I'm not here to fix, I'm just here to love. If people want suggestions, want help, then I offer. So I hope this gives you a new insight, if any, or helps you deepen your current relationships or attract the relationships you want, to allow yourself to be more vulnerable, without suppression, without shame, without anxiety. Even if there's discomfort coming up, let it come up, okay? You are not attached to it. You are just observing with awareness and expressing your voice. I welcome you to the Alchemy Solution, my beautiful community on Facebook, in which you get to connect with a wonderful, warm, cozy community to just share and love on each other. There are so many things being offered in the group. There's free higher self connection meditation. There's free trainings, live videos, and some guides in the form of PDF to help you with connecting to your intuition, connecting to your higher self, navigating difficult relationships. Also, my favorite part, law of assumption. Using law of assumption to help you create the reality you want to create and attract the relationships that you truly desire. I welcome you into it. I invite you. Drop a comment if you want to be invited.